Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What joy. What joy. Well, it seems that we are rushing headlong into the holiday season. Can't believe it. Halloween has worked its magic, and here we are, November, Thanksgiving, and the topic for the month of gratitude. And that leads me to a little tale I'd like to share with you. A tale about a little boy named Peter. Can you hear me all right? It doesn't say. You can't? Okay. Now, Peter was a delightful little boy. Everybody loved him, but he had one great weakness. And that weakness was that wherever he was, whatever he was doing, he would wish he were elsewhere. Wish he would be doing something else. Daydreaming all the time. When he was in school, he'd be wishing it were recess. When it was recess, he'd be wishing it was the weekend. When it was the weekend, he'd be wishing it was Christmas. And then, of course, at Christmas, he was wishing it was summer vacation. Well, one day, he found himself playing in the wood behind his house. And he saw a lady, an old lady, dressed in white, standing there in front of him. And what was really surprising was what she was holding in her hand. It was a small blue ball. And attached to the ball was a golden thread. Well, being a little boy, loving that kind of thing, the mystery of it, he asked her what that was all about. And she said, well, it is a magic ball. And if you just tug on the golden thread, hours will seem like seconds. And days will seem like minutes. And if you tug even harder, months and years will pass. Oh my, was he excited about that aspect. And he asked her, could he please have that magic gift? And she said, yes. The next day, in the classroom, waiting for the recess bell to ring and fidgeting around, he remembered the ball with the golden thread. He reached in his pocket and pulled it out. And he gave a little tiny tug. And instantly he found himself at home in the garden by the house playing. And the day passed rather nicely until he started to get bored and was thinking, oh, how wonderful it'll be when I'm a teenager. All the freedom of being a teenager. And then he remembered the ball and pulled it out and gave it a tug, and there he was, a teenager with a delightful young lady by his side named Daisy. Well, things weren't quite as he had imagined because lack of money, lack of a car, they couldn't go to the movies. So he put his hand in his pocket, pulled out the ball, and gave a stronger tug. And there they were. Daisy was now his wife, and he was a daddy, children running around the household, and his lovely mother, who he loved with all his heart, was getting a little frail and a little feeble, and he was not contented with that. And so he put his hand in his pocket, he pulled out the ball and gave a tremendous yank, and suddenly found himself decrepit, bent over, a 90-year-old man with white hair. His mother had long since passed, and his lovely wife had passed away a few years prior to that. The children were all gone, grown up with families of their own, and he realized suddenly what he had missed. He had missed living his life. Well, sad and dejected, he once again wandered out into the wood where he had spent so many hours as a youngster. And as he slowly walked along the path, which was now grown over practically, you could hardly find it, off in the distance, he saw the old lady in the white dress. And she came toward him and recognized him, and she said, well, how have you liked your gift? And he said, well, at first it was really wonderful, but I hate it now. I hate it because of the life I've missed, the sadnesses and the joys I've missed. I've missed it all of life's blessings. And she said, well, you know, that you're not being very grateful. But then she looked at his sad face and she said, well, I could offer you one last gift, one final gift. And he said, I want to be a boy again. I want to visit my childhood again so that I can really live life. The next thing he knew, he was being shaken, and the voice said, get up, Peter, get up, you're going to be late. Get your clothes on, don't dilly-dally, don't daydream. And it was his lovely mother. He was back as a young boy again, and his opportunity to enjoy the moments of life, the magic of every day, and the gratitude that followed him with that made his life a perfect life. So I'd like to suggest to you that remembering that life is a journey, that happiness is a journey, and we choose to travel that happy path, every now and then stop to smell the roses and be grateful. It's nice.